Hey, what's up, y'all? This is Gloob here, and today I'm going to be doing a Cuphead charm tier list. So the charms are different things you can buy in the shop, and they apply a permanent passive effect to your character when you have them equipped. So we have a couple different charms here, and I'm just going to show y'all which ones I think are the best, which ones are, usable, niche, and there's a couple I would say just don't use at all. So we're gonna start off with the coffee. The coffee charges your super meter at a pretty slow rate. I would say the only time I've seen this being used seriously is when people are trying to P rank levels, and so they just stand there to let the coffee charge the super. So when you're fighting against bosses, the charge on that is negligible compared to the damage you're getting off the bosses if you're actually shooting them consistently. So I would say coffee is niche. You could use it, but it's niche. After that, we have the whetstone, the wheatstone. Now, I'm gonna argue that the wheatstone is usable. Now, hear me out. The pea shooter EX does 25 damage, and the wheatstone parry does 16. So two of these, you're dealing more than an EX shot for free. It also has a couple of uses, such as when you're trying to P rank levels again. And additionally, I have my game open right here. You could use it on some parts of certain bosses, especially in the plains if you can find the right spot to hit it. Like right here, I'm not taking damage. I can just continue to parry his antenna on Dr. Kyle's robot, and he doesn't even get a shot. Right. So I would say that the wheatstone is usable, especially in plain levels. So the next charm that we have is the heart. Now, I was deciding whether to put this in usable or decent. I think I'm going to put it in decent for right now because you're getting an extra heart for only a 5% damage reduction. So you're going from, with your pea shooter, you have 30 DPS, you're going down to, I believe, 28.5. So not a crazy damage reduction, and that could allow you to damage boost past certain parts of a running gun level or a boss. It could save your grade if you're going for an A plus or an S rank. I would say it is decent. It definitely does not cross into really good. I don't really ever see myself using it though. So I'd say I would put it in the usable. I would say it would be like in between these two tiers, honestly. I could not say the same for the Twin Heart, because it doubles your damage reduction. So a 10% damage reduction is actually going to weigh you down a little bit when you're trying to get the good times for high ranks or just trying to get a good time in general. Obviously, having 2 extra health is nice, but if you need the 2 extra health to survive the boss, then you would have to be having trouble dodging the boss's attacks. But by giving yourself a damage reduction, you're going to have to dodge more of those boss's attacks, if that makes sense. However, it's definitely useful for getting P ranks in some scenarios. So I would say it's niche. After that, we have the smoke bomb. So the smoke bomb is a really good charm. It allows you to dash through enemies and projectiles by making you invincible during your dash. And it has uses on every grounded level. So I would have to put it in there. I would say The only downside is how it performs in plane levels and the fact that it's just outclassed by other things we'll see later. So up next we have the Perry Sugar. That's going to be our first one in the do not use tier. And here's why. I think when I started playing Cuphead, I equipped the Perry Sugar because I didn't want to learn how to parry, and that meant it took longer for me to get used to parrying later on. But if you wait to get used to parrying, then you're not going to really need the Perry Sugar. So you might as well just bite the bullet and figure out how to parry, because the only use I could see for this is in the mausoleums, but they ban charms in there anyway. So you might as well just not use it. And honestly, the mausoleums are not that hard, especially if you're playing two-player. So I would say just do not use the Perry Sugar. And on that same note, do not use the Broken Relic, because that has no effect at all. So it's just like having no charm equipped. So these are the two charms I would say do not use. Now, Chalice is interesting. Chalice is very interesting because she's great, right? She's great. She has her invincible dodge roll. She has her double jump. She has 4 health. Like, that's amazing. The only downsides I would say are her dash parry are difficult to use in some bosses where they were not really designed with Chalice in mind. And another issue I would say with Chalice is her airplane form. By equipping this in plane levels, you do get that 4 health, which is nice, and you do have more range on your shots, which is nice. But in doing this, your DPS is going to be lower, because when you're up close hitting all 3 of your shots, like I am right now, your DPS is going to be barely higher than Cuphead and Mugman's DPS, with 44, I believe, and theirs is 40. So because you're not usually hitting all 3 bullets, your DPS is going to be less than Cuphead and Mugman's in the plane. Although you still could use her because she does have the additional health, but at that point, since you have the DLC, I would say that would be outclassed by the Divine Relic. So I would say Miss Chalice is really good, but she is not the best charm, because there are, I would say, scenarios where you wouldn't use her, and I'm saving this tier for charms you could use in literally every level. Up next is the heart rating. I really like the heart rate. I think getting 2 or 3 health points throughout the level through parries and having no damage reduction is going to be a huge advantage, especially since you can get 3 health from the heart ring instead of 2. I would say that the heart ring will be able to save you in a lot of scenarios, and so I would put it in the really good tier. I'm considering putting it in the best, but I suppose there could only be one. And lastly, we have the Cursed and Divine Relics. So the Divine Relic is what I've been saving for the best tier. And here's my argument for it. I think it is the best because you can use it in really any circumstance. Like for bosses, it has uses by helping you get the S grade with the heals. And then on run and gun levels, the smoke bomb and heart ring are always going to help just in general, but also with the P rank. It has the additional bonus of the wheatstone and having a better recharge than the coffee. So I would say that the divine relic is the best charm of the game. Now, as for the cursed relic pieces that lead up to it, when you have the cursed relic maxed out right before the divine relic, it's actually decent. Like, you get a smoke bomb every other dash, and you get a wheatstone every other jump. You get some super charge from the relic that's similar to that of the coffee. When you have it like this, it is actually decent. I mean, it's obviously not the best charm in the game, but like I can see it being used. When you have it's not as far, you're not really using it as much for the smoke bomb and the wheatstone, because then you're having to count out like 4s and like 8s for when your dashes and parries are going to be doing their thing. So it's not really worth it to count on that. It's more of a coincidence if that worked. And then when you have a low cursed relic, because it has you at such a low health, I mean, you're really only using it to it's going there. You're really only using the cursed relic to get to the divine relic. So this is what I would say my Cuphead charm tier list is. Hopefully y'all enjoyed. Let me know what y'all think in the comments, and let me know if y'all think I should come back with a weapons tier list, because that is something I think I would like to do next. Anyway, y'all have a good rest of your day.